I cannot do this movie any more justice than it did itself. Some movies sell themselves, guys.
Detective O'Malley with the Deerfield Police Department, 2nd Precinct. This is Miss Farber from Child Protective Services. Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
Francis Stark.
Mr. Stark, can you tell us where you were last night?
Last night was Christmas, right?
It was Christmas, sir. Were you with your son Herman and his family?
No, ever since my wife died, we just stay right here, just me and Callie.
I'm sorry, who?
Callie, my cat. She's scared of people, so she's probably in her house.
Okay. Sir, did anything unusual happen last night?
Got a knock on the door.
Do you know who it was?
My grandson, little Willie.
Can you tell us how a 10-year-old boy managed to get across town through 10 miles of densely wooded forest in the middle of the night on Christmas?
My guess is the Indian.
The who?
The native man.
Did you know the man?
Never seen him before in my life. Didn't say anything, just left me the boy.
Mr. Stark, your behavior seems very strange. Do you fully understand what happened last night at your son's house?
Do you know where your grandson is right now, Mr. Stark?
Yep, right up there on the first one to right.
Can you speak with him?
You can try, but he hasn't said anything to anybody since he got here. Hey, bring the camera.
William?
Hey, Willie.
Please hit the door, boy.
On the right? This never would have happened if Herman remembered to lock the bulkhead. Thank you, Sarah. Willie.
William, are you in here?
Doesn't look like he's here.
The closet. William, is that you?
Hey, buddy.
Detective.
Hey, Willie.
William, we're here to help you.
Come on, buddy.
Mind coming out and speaking?
Hey, it's okay, bud. It's okay. Hey, Dave, will you give me a hand?
I told you the boy doesn't want to speak.
Been here now.
Guys, well, I'll tell you this. If there's ever anyone who's a good candidate for getting some therapy, it's Will, our protagonist. Because this guy, oh boy, he has gone through a lot and he has experienced worse. Like throughout this movie, you quickly learn that he's lost his mother and sister to an untimely death. It only gets unraveled further on into the movie how they died. In the beginning, we learned that his father has died, and you can already see that there's not much of a bond between him and his father. Actually, it doesn't even look like they even communicated at all. So through his father's death, that's how he goes and inherits his childhood home, and that's where all his past problems basically come back to haunt him. I think one of the many things this movie executed very well was basically not revealing too much too early. I think as I was watching it, initially I fell into the trap of trying to assume how it was going to play out. So in my mind, I'd already made up the idea that, well, they're basically going to tell us that the spirits that are haunting the house are the souls of the indigenous people who have cursed the lands that the colonizers have stolen from them. And only to find out, and where it also goes into making more sense and tying into the story, that actually the evil spirit was actually conjured by the colonizers themselves that were trying to eradicate the indigenous people. And that is why we see that only women and young girls are getting murdered, which was something that, like, it was a question that was lingering in my mind, because I was wondering, why did Will die when his sister and mother were murdered? And it's only as you go further into the movie that you learn about the background of the evil spirit, and that you actually see the intent that it is driven by, and which is to end the bloodline of those indigenous people. So you can actually see that all of the people that have been affected and murdered are actually tied to the original colony that used to reside on those lands. Guys, I tell you, I was a massive fan of this evil spirit, okay? Because he don't waste no time, okay? Because usually in movies, like, especially like movies like this, where a family or a person moves into a home that is actually haunted, they first spend like a couple of scenes like making us like think too much, like wonder, oh, did I see something move or did I not? This spirit was messing with Will from day one. The minute he moved into that house, it was plotting revenge. Okay, it was doing the most, and I respected it. Okay, I was like, hey, Will, buddy, I didn't even know. I was like, you know what? They might even Game of Thrones this guy, just kill him off, even though we expect him to survive. Because like typically you're like, the protagonist never dies. It is what it is. But in this one, I was not sure. I was like, hey, Will, you actually might be in trouble, buddy. In closing, for those of you who haven't already watched it, I fully recommend that you take a break, pause the video, go and watch the movie, and come back and leave your comments. Let me know what your thoughts were. And for the others that have already watched the movie, let me know how you felt about it. What are your sentiments? Did you like it? Do you agree with my feelings on it? That it was a generally good movie? Or do you think it was trash? I'm open to actually hearing what you guys think about it as well.